With the size of the bug problem now clear, immediate action is needed. The mobile infantry moves into gear to protect Qualasha, its mines, and its people.
Command has identified numerous bug holes in the area. And guess whose job it is to clean them out? Get your squads over to the supply base ASAP, and we'll go from there. Move out.
Hey guys, Stealth here, and welcome back to the second mission of Starship Troopers Terran Command. In this one, we are starting to see a few new units.
Take down those bugs.
We're first going to start out with the same rifle troops as we had in the first mission, and they're still trying to hunt down our civilians. To say that the game has bugs would be an understatement, because there are tons and tons and tons of bugs, and you get to shoot them all. Once again, we got a Tesla truck over there, and the civilians are running for their lives. Fairly ineffectively so. These guys are just getting torn apart before my guys have any opportunity to do anything. So I think that's scripted. But at least we got to squash a few more bugs.
Radio station up ahead. We should be able to cut through this interference and get some reinforcements.
And the reinforcements is what this mission is all about. It's going to train you how to use 2 additional unit types.
Call HQ and get another squad dropped on this position. We're going to need all the help we can get.
There we go. First rifle troop coming in.
Bugs inbound. Find a firing position, people.
In the previous mission I showed you how you can fire over other troops, and this one is going to be very important for that. It's all about that, let's say, super firing or overwatching your own troops. Unfortunately, I was struggling a bit with the guys on the right. Nevertheless, it doesn't take long for my guys to completely eliminate the rest of the bugs. There we go. Bug hive activity detected. We're gonna start clearing out these bug hives.
We can keep killing them, but they'll keep coming until we seal those bug holes. The first bug cave is nearby. Get over there and take it out.
So, time to move up. In order to clear out one of these things, you first need to get all the units that are in there to come out. So you're going to position a unit or 2 in front of it and just keep shooting until either you run out of ammo or they run out of bugs. And then when the hole is empty, you can walk right in and clear it out. You will take some losses, but it'll be survivable. Now at this point I had made a mistake. I had pressed S on one of my units as I had them selected, and S apparently is stop. Stop orders, but also ceasefire. So my units were not firing at will, and that's why the guys who were initially on Overwatch were simply not shooting. My mistake. More bugs coming in. Now this is regular difficulty, and it feels a bit easy. I think they can make regular difficulty actually more difficult, because it felt like I was just steamrolling these guys. If there had been, let's say, double the amount of bugs, it would have been more difficult. But the arachnids, at this point, don't really stand a chance. The way that the game, by the way, has fire maneuver or attack move implemented is interesting. If you have a group selected, like I have now, and you would press attack move, all the groups don't move unless all the other groups are out of contact. So let's say that you have 3 squads and only one of them is firing at the enemy. If that's the case, then the other 2 groups will not move up unless that first group is no longer shooting anything.
Okay, the bugs are down. Get a squad in that bug hole to seal it up.
There we go.
They're going to take some casualties, but that's what we're here for.
We're basically sacrificing some humans to get rid of some of the bugs. Bug hive cleared. Done.
Orders are to expand your foothold in the sector. Capture the local radio stations to use them as staging points for operations to take out arachnid colonies.
Understood. On the move. Let's get some radio stations. Unfortunately, I wasn't really paying attention to the whole map in this case. So, you're going to see me throughout the mission do some weird shit. I should have paid much, much closer attention to the map, because that would have made it far easier. Some more Tesla trucks over there, which seemingly have seen better days. There. I now used attack move, but they're all standing still unless the other two groups are out of contact. Whereas from Wargame, for example, I'm used to having groups continuously move unless they are in contact. But it now considers all of these guys as one group because I had them all selected, so they won't do that. So I think in this game it's better not to use attack move too much. These two can hold the right, and the northern group can take out the radio, or can capture the radio station. They have a supply depot and a delivery platform, and now we have options.
You additional resources to fortify the outpost against arachnid attacks.
Guess we're going to have a busy day at the office then. All right, we're going to need combat engineers and MG turrets.
So you deploy the support center on top of that building block over there, and now I can call in the engineers.
Okay, call in engineers ASAP.
And they immediately get deployed via dropship. There they are. They can deploy a heavy machine gun turret, as well as throw incendiary grenades, which I've also shown you in the previous video.
Get those engineers earning their pay. We need 2 MG turrets covering the outpost before Archie comes to crash this party.
I think Archie is short for arachnid. That seems to be their term for it. Important to note, heavy machine gun turrets can only be deployed on solid ground. You cannot deploy them on stuff like sand patches. So you have to be very specific about a location. And you gotta make sure that the turret is finished before you move your guys to another position. Because my guys were not finished building that one turret and I immediately moved them over to the next. So that was a bit of a mistake. And I also decided that this turret's not in a great spot, so time to put it up over there, where it can actually cover more of the western flank. Turret's coming up. Second turret's been built. Western turret is coming up. There we go. You don't need to sacrifice any troops. The heavy machine gun turrets come with a trooper, and it seems like they are pretty sturdy. They can actually take quite a few beatings. Calling in some reinforcements for the guys that I had wounded. There we go. Second heavy machine gun turret built, and now I can start to move up.
Get those MGs firing.
The HMG on the eastern side is now defending this side here. The western side is defended, so I can start to move up with my rifle troopers. Note, however, on the minimap, on the left-hand side of the screen, there is a red icon that's blinking. There's a bug hole to my west, which I did not see. I did see, however, the second radio tower that I need to capture, so I decide to move up to there instead. Bringing over the engineers, the rifle troops, and getting ready to push onto the east. And hoping that the west side is going to be properly defended by that one machine gun. Time to move up. The thorn bush that you can see on the right hand side is something that the engineers can take out. And that allows on some locations for additional maneuverability. And over here I put my troops on high ground. And from here they can immediately attack anything and everything that comes over that bridge. And that's coming from the valley down below. Troops here, time to lob a grenade. There, time for a second grenade. Unfortunately, barely anything in range of it. Oh well. Now this is a bug lair. It's a destructible building as opposed to the bug hive, or the bug hole. You can just blow those things up, and you can shoot them. You don't have to send any troops in. So I lob a grenade at them, and figure out that, okay, that does damage, so I can just keep shooting them. And the 2-second rifle troop groups are holding the bridge. Bringing up the rest. And thanks to the, let's say the chicane on the bridge, which is artificially set up with debris, I can very nicely funnel these guys through. I'm gonna lob another grenade, and this time it actually gets a bit more effectiveness, but I do miss out on the rest of the rifle troops, which are still further to the northeast. Sorry, northwest. But fortunately, they actually turn out to be in a fairly nice spot, because there is an enemy group coming in from there. And finally, one of my troopers has reached the elite status. So I can now pick a skill level. I can either go for a shotgun salvo or a boom bundle. Shotgun salvo is very short range shotgun blast, and the boom bundle is effectively lobbing a bunch of grenades at extremely short range and hoping that you can run fast enough away from them in order to not get hit by your own grenades. You can see the bug hive is still blinking, so there are still more guys in there. This means I still need to wait a little bit more before I'm able to clear them out. Bad positioning here with the second troop group, because I had them parked behind the other ones, and this meant that they couldn't fire over them or through them, so that one group is taking quite a lot of losses. Fortunately, I have the radio station, so I can very quickly call in additional reinforcements. And you can see the HMG turret on the western flank of that outpost is doing some nice work. Okay, time to clear out that bog hole. Done. On to the next.
Sir, HQ on the net. They're asking why the area isn't cleared yet.
Well, we're working on it.
But we've been a little busy here.
There come the reinforcements. Not a moment too late, because one of those groups has taken a pretty heavy beating. New threat, spitter bugs. Basically ranged units for the bugs. Okay, new objective. We're gonna call in some snipers. In order to make those, you need to deploy a support center. No, actually, no. You need to deploy the other one. There we go.
I prefer a one-way shooting arrangement with Archie. And those spitter bugs complicate things. Get some snipers deployed and take them up before they get in range.
Snipers are very nice at picking off larger targets from great range, but I found that they can pretty easily get overwhelmed if you have a larger group coming at you. So while they are very good at picking off the heavy targets, they still need an escort. They still need either combat engineers to hold the front, or you need to make sure that you have just a trooper squad there. Okay, calling in the snipers. And from this new radio tower, I can also reinforce my own groups. There we go. Snipers are in position. Time to put those on high ground, and the rifle troops on the low ground, defending the snipers, let's say, entry point, or at least the point to where you can get to the high ground. And there's not a whole lot that these guys can do. The snipers are now standing on high ground, attacking the spitters. And very nicely taking them out one by one by one. Checking to the west. The west is still fine. And the north can also move up slightly. I'm still ignoring that blinking icon on the map because I still haven't seen it at this point. There's another bug layer, so let's blow that thing up. Because they just keep spawning new units. And I think they might not run out of troops. Time to advance on two different fronts. I got my combat engineers on the left and my rifle troops on the right with the snipers. But it's getting a little hectic here for the combat engineers, so time to pull back. And this should also hopefully split the group. Some of them are going to go south to the combat engineers and the rifle troops, and the others are going to go to the east, where I have my snipers and my other two rifle troops. And so far it seems to be working, but I still want to call in some more reinforcements, because this rifle troop has taken some beatings, and definitely the engineers have. Unfortunately, I don't have the... I think I don't have the points to deploy additional turrets here. There, some reinforcements. Now what you see here is a bug tunnel, and from what I've been able to tell, the game doesn't seem to explicitly explain it, but what it does is spawn bugs as much as the bug hive does. But it's not something you can destroy because it's attached to a bug hive. So you need to attach the bug or attack the bug hive itself. These guys are taking an absolute slacking, an absolute beating from the spitters. So pulling them back. and using the other radio station here to get reinforcements. The bug hive that you can see on the top end of the screen, top left, that's connected to that bug tunnel. So it's like they have two different spawn points available. Now when it comes to sniper, you can get either the sensor flare, or you can get the crippling shot. So I decided to give one of the snipers the crippling shot and the other one the flare. I haven't quite figured out how to use them best though. So you're not going to see me use those a whole lot. I try to attack the bug tunnel, but it doesn't work because it is simply attached to the bug hive. Even lobbing a grenade at it does absolutely nothing. So instead, time to move in. If it is empty, which it's currently not. Now those thorn patches on the top end, I could have attacked those with the combat engineers, and that would have allowed me to start bringing the snipers up on the high ground, or another rifle troop, and thus provide more overwatch. And there we go, the spitters just started respawning. And I got one of my rifle troops getting completely murdered without me having any kind of a choice to bring them out. So time to get the snipers to race out of there, which is something they can do. Combat engineers to throw an incendiary grenade. And these rifle troops and combat engineers are both getting overwhelmed. Because I did not have the other rifle troop back yet. I forgot about them. Rifle troop going to clear the bug hive. Hopefully this one troop can do it. And there we go, the bug hive is done, and that also clears out the tunnel. And thankfully there is a new radio tower up ahead, so I'm immediately able to bring in reinforcements to my crippled groups and call in another rifle troop. So with more reinforcements, I'm hoping that I can fairly swiftly get rid of all of the enemy units now. I noticed that I can bring in turrets again, so time to deploy some turrets. And there was, on the top left-hand side of the map, a big red arrow saying, hey, there's probably going to be a wave of bugs coming from here. So I decide that maybe it's time to bring in some turrets. And now I finally recognize that there might just be another bug hole. A little late, but fine. I decide to bring the combat engineers back to start setting up some turrets. And while you cannot do that on the sand, you can do it next to the outpost because there's usually a bit of concrete there. And you can also do it on the road, because it is solid ground. So one there and one covering that side, although it does absolutely nothing because there's no spawn point for them. So I decide, you know what? Let's put them on the road. Let's just put two of these things side by side. One there, one there. Done. In the meanwhile, the heavy machine gun turret's still under attack, the snipers and the rifle troops are all coming in, and hopefully able to clear out that last bug hole. Very dangerous to push up with snipers like this, because as I said, they're not frontline units. I try to get through the thorn hedge, but my guys won't want to. The only ones who can clear out a thorn hedge is the engineers. Even a hand grenade doesn't do anything against the thorn hedge. You need the flamethrowers from the combat engineers to get that thing done. So, time to get the rifle troops in front. The snipers are already taking damage. I don't like that one bit. And finally, I'm going to have to wait for the combat engineers to come back before I'm able to clear out that thorn hedge. So with the snipers on sort of overwatch and the rest of the guys providing additional support right from the front, it's just a moment to wait for the combat engineers to come up. The problem with this particular canyon was that I had a very, very narrow front, which meant that I could not provide the overwatch that I normally do. I couldn't have my troops super firing. And because of that, there was effectively one, sometimes two units in conflict, whereas I could have had three. Combat engineers are definitely not the fastest units on this map. I would very much like it if they were a bit faster. But I suppose it might be balancing mechanic. So you cannot rush a position and deploy machine gun turrets or something like that. Tossed a sensor flare there, but I don't exactly know what it does. Checking out the range, and that was the very, very, very short range of the bundle of grenades. Now I can finally use the engineers to wipe out that thorn bush. You can see the health on it going down. Time to move up slowly, burn the other thorn bush out, although you only really need to take out one before the road is open. And now my snipers can move to there, from where they have a nice field of fire and can provide support to the rifle troops as they push up. Combat engineers are under attack from a bunch of spitters down there, which they're probably bringing the good news with incendiary grenades. And the snipers are overwatching and wiping out the arachnids as they come out of their bug cave. Sorry, the bug hive. There we go. Now, as you might be able to see, the game is not incredibly deep. There's not a ton of different units yet. That is, there might be more. I'm not sure yet. This is only a demo. But I do enjoy it. It's a nice bit of... this is going to sound weird. It's a nice, relaxing RTS. Most RTSs have you on the edge of your seat. This one just slightly less so. Because it feels a bit easier. But maybe I should just ramp up the difficulty level. Maybe that's the thing. Done.
Sir, satellite surveillance has picked up major bug movement approaching your position. You don't have long.
Okay, you heard the news. Our only chance is to use this valley as a kill zone. Use everything you got. If we don't hold them here, we'll all be dead anyway.
Well, shit. I have 1 minute and 20 seconds before the wave starts, and my troops are definitely not able to get there as quickly as they need to be. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get all of my troops into position there. I'm just going to have to hope that the machine guns are going to be fast enough, or potent enough, to defeat the enemy. And now the game starts saying, hey, maybe you should construct some machine gun turrets up there. So one rifle troop is going to go there. Reinforcements spawning right next to it. I need another group to go there. But because I had them in groups, so selecting a group and using Control 1, Control 2, Control 3, it seemed like the guys were a bit confused. And now I only have 30 seconds before the wave approaches. Dismantle these machine guns, which gives me a few... I'm not sure what they're called, action points or something. Bottom right hand side, the eagle icon, or the Federation icon. Quick, we're in a hurry. There's a turret coming up there. The other engineer squad can deploy another turret. Unfortunately not there, because it's not solid ground, so the next one is going to have to be there. A couple of bugs inbound. Snipers are fortunately in position. So at least I have those guys and their supporting fire. And they immediately make sure that the engineers have a safe space to work. Or at least safe enough. Rifle troops go north and we get an airstrike. It's not something I can control, but it definitely helps. And again, the game feels easy on regular. It feels like we're not really getting enough resistance. Because these two machine gun turrets, in combination with a bunch of snipers, they're eliminating everything. Especially with additional troops up there, but again, when you're in the group, it seems like the game doesn't quite know how to handle it. So that's something that I hope gets addressed, because I'm constantly sorting out these rifle troops. Nice place for a grenade there. Although at this point, there was no grenade needed. They were all gone. Done. A bit too easy though. So, with the valiant effort of the rifle troops, I can now rest assured that this area is once again a bit safer. Is it safe enough? I don't know. There's probably more, and there's one more mission to do. And that, supposedly, is quite a difficult mission, so I'm looking forward to playing that. Hope you guys enjoy what you see. The game is slated to come out next year. in March. It's not going to be very expensive, interestingly. So be sure to check it out. Link down below in the description. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon for more.